Yo team, alright, what's up? This will be the third part in our video series going over market profile. This should be the last video, or at least specifically going over market profile in the video series. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. VPOC in the POC, and not with the A. Anyway, VPOC POC, point of control, volume point of control, POC, VPOC, all the names. What exactly is that? So by the book definition, points of control, POC, POC. The point of control is where the price spent the most time at in a day, week, month, slash year. It is based off time and it can be used as support resistance levels in the following days. POC developed within a value area, is developed within a value area, and can be used as a target intraday. In VPOC is the volume point of control, is where price had the most volume at in a day, week, month, or year, and it is based off volume. Can be used as support resistance levels, the same thing as POC in the following days, and is developed within a volume value area, and it can be used as targets intraday. Same thing as POC. So VPOC POC, that's the by the book definition. Pretty much, actually, so pretty much, VPOC POC um, is exactly what it sounds like. It's the point of control, and to even get into that, we have to know a little bit more about market theory. And it's not even market theory. You have to know about what does control even mean. Like, what's the definition of control? Like, what I think the definition of control is what, the power to influence or direct, control something. Put control in actual definition. No, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, the power to influence or something. That's what control means. So we take that control, and we put point of. So now we have a actual location where something has the power to influence or direct something. So just with that little bit of knowledge right there, that's something that should be that's the actual important level where there will be a reaction in the market. So that's enough. There's my rambling. So let's actually get into actual charts, and I can show this a little better. So VPOC POC, what is that? So this is VPOC. Also, this will be your POC. A lot of times VPOC and POC actually overlap each other. It's actually pretty good if they are overlapping. It shows confluency. But yeah. So when you think of points of control and actually use them, it's actually important to actually have somewhat of knowledge of market theory, whether that be LRA, Wyckoff, um, something, because that's exactly how you're going to understand why VPOC and POC is actually so important, why it's so powerful. And that is because of something called gravitation. And then gravitation just falls under knowing imbalances, balances, and why is price reversing right here? Why is there a reaction at this level, price level? It's literally knowing market theory and using that against you. That's the best way, I believe, is to use VPOC and POC. And I'm not gonna get into a lot of strategies and stuff in this video. I will maybe like in another video within the series, but yeah. So this right here, live BTC right now, this is VPOC. This price level right here, this would be your volume point of control. And volume points of control isn't a strictly market profile term at all. This is also a candlestick term as well. So this would be our volume point of control shown on the volume profile and on the market profile. I just have it configured that way. Same thing previous day, right here, and previous day. So, like I was saying, knowing market theory, knowing how price is going to have a reaction at different levels is very important in the use of VPOC and POC. An example of the reason why I love VPOC and POC so much is because they can be used intraday as targets. Great example of this right here. So, and this is, and I should say they're better used as targets intraday, and that's getting into a lot more strategies and things of that nature that we are not doing. But yeah. So like I was saying in the definition, these VPOCs, these points of control, volume points of control, can be used as targets intraday. And why is that? So that's also why I'm saying you need to have a little bit of knowledge of market theory and just knowing how the market works, because there's this thing called trapped traders. There's this thing called um, LRA, Wyckoff. There's a thing called there's lots of things. There's reasons. When you get into like knowing, you need to know the reason why. Because when you know why, you'll know why there'll be a price reaction here. Once you start asking those questions, then yeah, I'm rambling. But anyway, so like I was saying, targets intraday, and then at that same point, they can be used as resistance and support levels. So where do we see that? Well, we see that right. Let's see, right here, live BTC right now. And I don't like to use them. Don't think of it as an actual line. Sometimes it lines up perfectly like that, but I would say volume points control, whenever you're using them as supports and resistance levels, work best as a zone per se than a line, because it's not like an actual like set spot where a set like price where it's gonna actually stop, no moving, nothing might be done. Nah, it's not like that. It's gonna sometimes it wicks up a little bit. Sometimes we we come back up and we start creeping up. But nah, usually whenever you have these volume points controls like already like lined up, you come to previous days where you think there's gonna be reaction, and you draw a line across your chart, you'll see that VPOC level will act as a resistance level or it will act as a support level. And then you have to ask yourself why. Ask yourself why is there a reaction at this level? So then you have to look back. So you look back and you're like, okay, what the hell is going on? Okay, I see, can't get out here, we can't go here. So obviously, there's a lot of selling going on. Well, who's selling? It must mean someone's probably trapped. They're trying to get out. So that's just an assumption, of course. But it is also a good assumption for you to take, maybe missed, maybe a trade. Point of control, intraday. Yeah. Same thing right here. Same thing right here. Then go to almost any random day and show VPOC acting like this. And I'll say, it definitely, I'm not sure if I did say this already, it definitely does work better on more rotational days than directional days, more balanced days than imbalanced, because when the market is obviously imbalanced, price isn't going to come back. So you have to actually trade with a trend, and that's just, like I said, knowing market theory, knowing how the market works in general. And the last thing I want to show with this is, if I can find one, IB, so the initial balance. So the initial balance, if there isn't enough imbalance in price or between the bids and the ads, of course, to shift market up or down will usually reverse into the previous day's um, volume point of control or point of control price level. So that's kind of going into strategy, but let's see if I can find an example of that. Alright, so let's start right here. Previous day's volume point of control, VPOC / point of control, probably be in this area as well. This is our IB, our initial balance, our first hour in the day. It's chilling down here, and look at that. Price slowly gravitates to previous day's point of control. Same thing with this. We drop down a little bit, and then we cross previous day's points of control, and for a little bit it acted as a reaction. I'll say a reaction point. We'll say it like that. Same thing right here. This is our IB, and we traveled up to previous day volume point of control / point of control. We need to stop saying it like that. Go back to let's go a really random day. Ooh. Definitely not that day. Let's go with this one. Why not? Right here, same thing. This day is a little bit different because we continuously did it. And then we have this previous day. And then this is showing it on BTC. So the only dangerous thing I say about this with BTC is that not all coins are in confluence with BTC. So you have to be mindful of that, because all of these tokens do have personalities. Sometimes they like to follow daddy, sometimes they don't follow. But it's okay, it's okay. Another example, came down, and eventually we attacked the volume point of control from the previous day. Happens almost every day. And then this is a good example of shorting back to the previous day volume point of control. But that's pretty much it for VPOC POC without strategies or anything of that nature, nothing crazy. But yeah, that's it, gang. That's pretty much it for this video.